speeches lately, so just bear with me on this one because I feel I have a pretty important story to tell. Baseball to me is much bigger than a game. Baseball has presented me with competition, challenges, valuable lessons, and not only friends, but a family of brothers as I look out upon this day. I would like to take everyone back to my freshman year of high school. My freshman year was far different from most. I had just moved from Atlanta, where the only thing that hadn't changed my life was my family being my Sterling, my mother, and my father. It was hard for me moving to such a foreign place with things like Taylor ham, good pizza, strangers, and everything, and not having everything that I'd known my entire life. At first, I'd say it was a refreshing chance to start over again, meet new friends, and get a new outlook on life. It all sounded good until I realized how shy and awkward of a freshman I was. The first 2/3 of that school year was quite a drag, to say the least. I ate lunch alone most of these days, partly by choice, but partly because I didn't have the courage to go out and talk to people. It wasn't until that spring baseball started up when I met Matt Monahan. Matt was the first real friend I had up here. I couldn't be more grateful that I met him, and Matt has been a brother to me since the day we met. I'll never forget the day he gave me a home at a lunch table where he said, and I quote, "We always have room for a Chili Willy," which was a direct reference to my Gmail account. While this may sound silly and quite honestly insignificant to most, it was a monumental opportunity for me, as he introduced me to many of the freshmen and the rest of the freshman baseball players. Baseball had just given me friends as well as valuable lessons that I would learn throughout our coaches. Firstly, while he may not be here, is Scott Paltos. I would like to give him a special thank you. This man has introduced freshman and sophomore Will about what self-control is and how to handle his emotions. It's no secret that I was what you'd call a head case my freshman and sophomore year, where oftentimes I would let my emotions limit my ability. It was Coach Scott who told me about his personal experiences with similar problems, and that he wanted to guide me down a different path because the one I was on led to a dead end of wasted talent. At first, this was something I could not understand, but as time would go on, I would slowly mature, and I would understand more and more about what he meant. However, I would not learn this alone, as the main catalyst in my maturation would be our current head coach, Coach Dasty, and our pitching coach, Coach Jay. They would be what I felt especially hard on me at times. I would be frustrated and ask, why me? This question would follow me throughout my high school career, and I would reflect on this question very frequently. It was through Jay who simply expressed to me that it was because they both cared and seriously cared about the success of me and the program. I could not be more grateful to have a coaches such as these two, who has taught me so much about baseball, but also how to overcome great challenges, which is something I will forever take with me. What I'm referring to is 2 years ago, there was a serious incident where no one would have faulted Dasty for leaving the Madison program and having a better time coaching elsewhere without the drama. However, he stuck with us through the worst of the team's time. Throughout the worst of the team's times, he stayed right with us. To me, that spoke volume about him, his personality and character. His ability to persevere through something like this is remarkable, and I'm so thankful that he has. He has been more than a coach to me, but also a teacher, a role model, and a friend. And I feel certain he is for many members of this team. I like to say that I lived most of my life in Georgia, but it is in New Jersey that I grew up. Thank you, teammates. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, friends. And thank you to my parents for their unwavering support of me. Thank you, Madison Baseball.